What is up, everybody? I am Tokyo Punch-Out, and I am joined by none other than the legend, the Mortal Kombat god. He went to Evo. He put bodies on people. He put faces on people. There were body bags. Everything happened to get to this point. This is PND Ketchup.
Hello. Yes. Welcome everyone. Very different game to the one that you're seeing today. Well, you know what? Actually, depends on how you look at it. They're both mature rated and they're both fast paced, and I think that's probably why I love them so much. But yeah, welcome everyone. This is going to be our latest addition to the Friday Night Fights competitive community battle mode activity. For those that haven't seen battle mode before, you're always in for a treat because we always bring on decent players at the very least. But speaking of today, there's quite a running theme, and I think a question that might be on some players' minds is if you're a professional player, and I mean, I very well use the word professional in this case, of other FPS or
Sure.
other games in the same area, how
Preach.
would you approach battle mode? And today, that question is going to get answered, right? We have Quake pros ready to rock, and we have their matches good and ready to show everyone, and I'm excited to see what happens.
Let's take a look just at the matchup so far. So we have Raisy from, by the way, these are all Team Myztro. Huge shout out to Nigel and the boys over at Myztro. Lent us their time and their practice away from the Quake Pro League to participate for tonight's event. We've got Raisy as the fully loaded Slayer. Again, if you're new to battle mode, it is a 2v1 experience where you have one fully loaded Slayer who is basically showing you what aggression looks like in the form of doing all of the things in the fun zone, which include a few of the following. There's quick switching, which is basically just running through the weapons and getting max damage, high DPS. You have dashing, you have double jump, you have using basically everything in your traversal that's possible, including the meat hook, including all kinds of things depending on the level, whether it be jump pads or monkey bars. And while they're doing all these insane things, they're doing flame belch, they're doing glory kills, they're also just basically comboing all these things. They're using their equipment launcher, which is for grenades, to make sure that they keep the other side of these battles, these 5 round per map battles, going in their favor. And then talk us through the demon side of this, Ketchup.
Yeah, so the demon side is all about just trying to use that strategy. The term strategy versus skill is always approached because the whole idea of the mode is that the Slayer is pretty much fully kitted out, has a bunch of stacks to work with, a bunch of movement upgrades, and a lot of the weapon mods, all the stuff that makes you really powerful in the end game for the Slayer. Demons are by design not really able to 1v1 a Slayer. You have to work together and you need to communicate, and that really is the golden rule, I suppose. I'm interested to see what happens gameplay wise here. And again, I need to really let everyone know for full transparency, which is always what we go for here at the Friday Night Fights, that these were pre recorded maps that have all three POVs laid on top of each other and are simply chopped up POV wise. So you get to see kind of a sort of spectator experience across the maps, which is kind of what we aim for the Friday Night Fights, to give you this kind of competitive experience that you can't really find or see elsewhere. In regards to the game itself, there's no stranger or no mystery that the Myztro boys have only played a little bit of Doom Eternal's battle mode in general. You know, they are professional Quake Champions players. Garpy was seen in stage 1 of the Pro League and has obviously been a very successful Quake Champions player before that. Raisy and Vengeurr, currently some of the absolute greatest Quake players on the planet. You can tune into the Quake Pro League every Sunday, and it is a pretty insane, insane display. But what I'm thinking about is fundamentals, FPS fundamentals, which you will absolutely see that coming from Raisy for sure with the Slayer, because as long as he's got good aim and good just eye for positioning, I think he'll be all right in general.
For sure, and it's really interesting too because Raisy and Vengeurr are this new young blood, like coming straight out of Hungary, coming straight out of Italy, like just showing all of these Quake pros that have been around forever that they shouldn't be too comfy because they're going to get knocked off that throne. That's what they've been showing, and then that's why it's so interesting. In this, you've got one on one side with Raisy as the fully kitted Slayer, and then now Vengeurr, basically like all of his aimbotness, his what he brings to basically flick shots and everything else, with the tutelage of the absolute veteran that is Garpy, who has taken down FPS after FPS through his career. So I think without further ado, we might be should just get straight into match one. What do you think?
I think that's a pretty good idea. I think the people want to watch it. I'm excited to see it as well. It is just this unique experience to see what other players can really approach battle mode with. There's very much a sort of mixture of generations here. Garpy kind of embodying the old school generation across multiple different FPS on a competitive level. And of course, mostly Arena FPS, which is what Doom Eternal was kind of crafted around. And then you have Raisy, that kind of newcomer to the initial launch of Quake Champions, who just made a name for himself in a very short space of time. And then you have Vengeurr, who's just the young blood, the youngest current like top level competitive Quake Champions player, and they're all mashed together, and we'll see what happens.
That's right. We've measured his blood. It's truly the youngest on the entire planet. I don't know how he's done it, but he's here with us tonight. And so without further ado, let's go straight into match one.
Okie dokie. So Celestial, this is a map that definitely some would say is a map that kind of favors the Slayer just a little bit more.
For sure.
It comes down to the open space. The fact that this map has less kind of ambush points and a lot more just out in the open areas, it can be a little bit tricky for some of the demons to not be out of position. But we're going to be checking out Raisy first, who's already going in with the Destroyer Blade. And that is pretty much seen as kind of like the current meta weapon mod that you can give the Ballista. It's massive damage, it's a massive hitbox on it, but right now, looking to get some of that range damage, which is classic for Slayer.
And at the point right now, too, in the current meta of battle mode here, basically the craziest thing is that Destroyer Blade that he's using so effectively in the very beginning, when charged and let go, actually passes through walls. So he's able to sort of get some free damage right off the bat and put them not necessarily on the back foot, but as you can see here, this Pain Elemental Garpy is already in a little bit of trouble.
100%, and it's the range that makes this a little bit more lethal. As we can see, the Pain Elemental's Lost Soul shield is going to come forward. Vengeurr trying to provide that little bit of support, which Garpy's definitely going to need at this point. And I'm not surprised, really, to see Garpy using that kind of support style demon, the Pain Elemental, which is the kind of tank role, going in and just being that kind of source of harassment. Garpy is pretty prominent with those support-based characters in Quake Champions as well. As we can see, we're checking out a little bit of action here from Vengeurr, who's eyeing up a Raisy. And by this point, should be able to get a pretty convincing end of the round. And as you can see, yeah, round one's going to be demons.
That's going to be demons, but straight away you're going to see that Raisy is going to go for Master Card, which is an interesting pick. So basically, as soon as he chainsaws, he gets more speed, and basically they drop more ammo and fuel regeneration every time. It's quicker for the pips to recharge.
Yeah, Fit Meatball's going to come through for the Pain Elemental. Really important to just give up as little angles as you can. You can definitely dodge the Slayer at the same time. And Vengeurr going in with the bigger bar, that's entirely just due to the fact that Marauder, it is one of the squishiest demons in the game. That 2000 HP base does make you a lot more vulnerable to those kind of range shots. And even now, worth mentioning that these matches were captured using basically the pre-patch version, so the Ballista will be doing its 600 damage, whereas now I believe the base Ballista shot does 550, so there is going to be a little bit of a damage difference from these sets.
That's true.
But yeah, it's worth mentioning for sure, because it's a bit of a game changer.
So you're saying that he recorded these matches just at the right time to get an extra 50 damage in.
It was like the day before, I'm pretty sure it was about a day before.
Raisy was like, what day is the patch? I can see something. Okay, we should record today. I have a really good feeling about today's recording. Yeah. I like that. And you see already off the bat, he did the fully charged Destroyer Blade for the Ballista and just does massive damage. So Vengeurr, again, he's playing the Marauder. It's a little bit more of a push-forward character, and so he chose that bigger bar, and he is actually happy to be doing so because he's taken 2 full precision scope shots at 400 each, and he's actually not in horrible shape. He's still got about a little bit more than half HP.
I was talking about like Arena FPS fundamentals too. You see some of that from Raisy. The moment Raisy's back is near the teleporter, he sits pretty much as close as he can possibly be and then gets a Ballista shot, and the microsecond after it lands, uses the teleporter so he doesn't get punished. That's a classic strategy in something like Quake, where you go for the rail into an immediate teleport. I kind of like seeing that in Doom, because there are some actually Slayers in Doom Eternal that still don't do that kind of stuff, and it's bizarre that Raisy within seconds was able to do it. And it comes back to the fundamentals we're talking about. A very weak Garpy though. This is a scary position to be in. Teammate's going to fall down, and that's going to swiftly be followed up, and it comes down to the fact that even if Raisy did have less ammo, you take down one of the demons, the stack's going to be yours, ammo's going to come with it and finish the job.
Exactly. And now, so this time, Raisy is chosen as the Slayer to go with Burning Hate. So he knows every single time he pops that Flame Belch, it not only recharges faster, but it actually drops even more armor. And then with the Pain Elemental, now he's going with the bigger bar. He felt like maybe a little bit pressured there. Garpy felt like he needed a little more base HP. And then, of course, the Marauder coming with the Tactician's pretty clutch. So basically, like all of your actions you have, so basically the way you can spawn, the way you've got best friend, all these things, the cooldown is a little bit less. So it's actually another one of those things where tactically, which is why it's called Tactician, it's a pretty damn good call as far as the entire time, every single thing you have at your disposal that's on cooldown will be coming up faster.
It's absolutely seen as one of the most meta upgrades that you can take. I mean, just the utility alone of having all the different action skills ready to rock at a much more constant rate, particularly with things like the heal we can sometimes see. There's that defensive teleport ballista shot coming out again. Really important. It just basically means you can't get punished. Right, you get that shot, you teleport, you're no longer in someone's line of sight, unless they're camping out teleporter. But here comes the attack again, quick switching, SSG, into that immediate rocket, using the golden weapons. He's going to pressure really heavily, but actually, maybe biting off a little bit more than he can chew. Vengeurr, incredibly weak. As you can see, Raisy's not in an amazing position, actually. He's taking a fair amount of damage. There's the immediate teleporter used to get out of dodge. Very tender Vengeurr, licking his wounds a little bit. And oh, the carcass shield. You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Yeah, the carcass does a really excellent job of not only doing the actual body block you just saw there, but actually doing some location for kind of like some spotting for the demons in general. That was nasty. That was a really nice switch there. Right when that shield went down.
He was trying really hard not to give up too much of an angle, but, you know, give an inch and that's it. That's all it takes when you're that weak.
Exactly. He's a little bit low on ammo here. I'm curious. There we go. Pulls himself like an absolute pro from the meat hook straight into the chainsaw. He actually goes with double chainsaw just to make sure he's completely topped off for now when he knows he has to face two demons down again. Garpy's shield is up, but boy, is his health low. They're actually both right about at the same point here where they're pretty critical.
Yeah, there was a defensive noxious hazard put down just to try and make it so Raisy can't pressure too hard. The shield was up as well, and the shield, I mean, its biggest weakness actually is that noxious field. So
100%.
It was a little bit of a good matchup situation, I suppose. Unfortunately, that is going to be Vengeurr falling again. Garpy wasn't really in a position to give too much support because if he overextended there, not only would Vengeurr pass, but himself too. So yeah, kind of had no choice but to hang back, and we can see Raisy using this opportunity to try and get the stack back up, try and get more of the ammo. Tries to chainsaw the Arachnotron. I do think that's going to be more of a lack of experience.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's just
a fair amount of chainsaw ready to get that one.
Exactly. You got to have more pips than he had at the time, but you know what? You learn these lessons in battle mode, in the heat of the moment, and he's going through the teleporter, getting that information, and now he's doing a full chase down. He caught Garpy completely off guard. There was no shield up, and now it's the Marauder as Vengeurr on his back foot. It was a nice noxious hazard. It was a nice idea, but will these shield boys? Nope. They will not be able to do enough to help and shield that damage. And now he's just punching the air.
we see the. I mean, if this was Quake Champion to be Revan the Gauntlet, that's what Raisy does, right? That's what he does. Now the power upgrades, the kind of big upgrades at the end. Sentinel infused. It just means Doomslayer wants more stack. Speaking of stack, the double team heal. It is generally kind of seen to be the most powerful, or at the very least, consistently good performing combination of power upgrades. So right now, it just means you can be more aggressive, or you can somewhat just go toe-to-toe with the damage at last. You know, so many times we see a Slayer that just hits all those shots. Feels like you're just delaying the inevitable by healing up a little bit. Team heal kind of answers that back. The immediate aggression, though, coming out from Raisy. And I love that immediate activation of the aura. Is going to shut him down. Raisy forced to retreat. The shield's out, but hang on a minute. He's taking so much damage.
Wow. The DPS right now from Demons is just the pressure is so high. Okay, he went through the teleporter, but again, this could, if they had taken enough damage, this is one of those things that they know that Raisy is basically playing with his back to the teleporter a lot of times. So as soon as, wow, not even an opportunity to get back. It's tied up 2-2, folks. What are we going to do here?
I mean, we're down to this final match, this final round situation, so obviously no opportunity to try and get any of the upgrades. We're going to rock the exact same round we did last time. And understandably, Raisy not being as aggressive this time around. Yep. There are some maps where you can use the immediate early teleporter to kind of get the teleporter to regenerate. For those that don't know, it is gone for a set amount of time, and it does come back a few seconds later. So if you are going to go for that immediate aggression, Slayers will try and use it as early as possible, so that if they have to get out, they can use it as early as possible.
Right, because also with that, they have no escape once they go through, because they know that teleporter is not going to be immediately up if they actually get fully pressured back. But right now you see Garpy up top, hanging out, getting that information, spotting for his teammate. Raisy's actually on the back foot here. Vengeurr's a little bit low, but you know what? He's going in for the sneak attack, trying to see if he can get an angle. Ooh, he's spawning in some extra demons. Let's see if this will... through the teleporter? Nope, not yet. Again, he's waiting. Oh, that was that 50-50. He was gambling. He was going to get Vengeurr, but that time it didn't work out, and the demons come out on top.
That immediate dash was used by Vengeurr very fearlessly, I got to say.
Yeah.
And it's a common tactic with these kind of players where if you're trying to kind of throw off a player's aim, if they're sticking with those single shot weapons, sometimes you go point blank, especially if you're Marauder, who's a little bit harder to hit. Remember, the Marauder has only 2,000 HP, but it's got the smallest hitbox of any of the demons.
That's
So if you kind of
100%
go
true.
point blank, you just challenge their kind of like weird kind of flick shots. It can be quite uncomfortable. And you kind of get the double up bonus of having a nice super shotgun blast as well. So that's definitely going to be better than nothing, and a nice little map one.
Exactly. So I think without further ado, we should bring these boys on. I know Discord right now is giving me some pixelated demons, but let me see if I can get the holograms going here. Let's see with the magic of the internet. Look at that! Look at that! Look who we have. So up top,
it's just me. I've just disintegrated a little bit. That's fine. It doesn't matter.
You're in the astral plane right now. So on the astral plane, are you seeing all three, Raisy, Garpy, and Vengeurr of the Myztro boys? Are you seeing that on your side? I just want to make sure I know spiritually where you're at right now, Ketchup.
I can see the lads. I guarantee I can see the lads. I promise.
You have a vantage point
you have
that's
to bear with us, guys. This nature of doing everything online obviously does bring these kind of I'm now in almost like PowerPoint mode, but we'll just deal with it. As long as you can hear me, that's all I care about.
Yep, I think we can hear you loud and clear. All right, so Raisy, first up. I know that you are a push forward player. I know that you love the Doomslayer in and of himself. Walk us through in Celestial, like where were you at from the beginning of the match, and what kind of maybe adjustments were you trying to make as you saw that they started getting more like pressure based?
Hi. So I really like that it's like so action packed. So as you said, I like going in and then just have at it. But it's like not the best tactic some of the times, as you could see like in the third round. I think it kind of backfired, or was it the fourth?
Fourth, I think.
Sometimes you have to like restrain yourself because as soon as they have team heal, they can just tank everything, and meanwhile your health is just gone. So what I try to do most of the time is to just have like a little bit of cheap damage in the beginning, see if I can make one of them like mid health, go a little bit aggressive, bait out their abilities, fall back, heal up, try again. Sometimes it works, other times they have a really good response, and then they just go with it. And then once they start being aggressive on me, it's really hard to fall back. I have to have like a teleport close by, or somehow get high ground. But even that doesn't always help because Pain Elemental can just chase me down midair. So I had to be very careful, and some of the times it was just too overwhelming. But it was a lot of fun.
Nice. Okay, joined now. I think we have Garpy, which is basically like myself from another era. I feel like someone dug us up out of the ground. Couple of dinosaurs are back. Walk us through your Pain Elemental in that match. Where was your head at? What was your tactic?
Also, before we get into this, for the people in the chat, Garpy, exactly how long have you been in the competitive Arena FPS space? Just for those not in the know.
I'd like to just say, since I was 17, I am now 21.
Oh, not that long then. Not that long then. That's all right. That's all right.
It's probably nearly coming 20 years.
How old are you, Vengeurr?
I'm 21.
19.
That's pretty amazing.
I was playing tournaments while he was in nappies.
That's incredible.
Anyway, there was a question. Here.
At some
it's about you and the Pain Elemental. Run us through it, and also, just as someone with the buckets of experience, I think it's fair to say with FPS, what's it been like playing battle mode? How do you feel?
It was really fun. Very hard at the start. As you know, the Doomslayer does so much damage. It was like I literally cannot go in the open. I think on in the map you could see me and Vengeurr just hiding behind pillars. It's like he's coming, he's hit us. We need to run, and it's like just spawn demons. Go, go, go. So what we was trying to do was get his armor down, or if he did push too aggressive, then we Vengeurr could do a lot of damage, and I'm just at the back just doing chip damage and spawning demons. So it was just trying to stay out the way. And then if he did try and charge me down, Vengeurr would then try and go after him to kind of pull his attention away from me, and hopefully I could dash and get the cover to heal up again. But yeah, it's very difficult, especially in the earlier rounds as demons, we found. As the game goes on a little bit more, it gets a little bit easier, but yeah, only a little bit easier, especially when you've got Raisy. You just get hit every time you're in the open. It's just his aim's amazing, so it's hard work no matter what.
And last but not least, 21 years old, basically born today in the best way. We've got Vengeurr from Team Myztro. Walk us through that pretty aggressive Marauder play we saw coming out of you on Celestial. Where were you at head-wise? Because obviously you had the eye in the sky. You had the old man from the river literally up in the sky, just sort of always spotting the Slayer for you. Like, what was your strategy in playing the Marauder on that map?
Hello everyone, by the way. It was just real fun because Marauder can play like same as Doom, so I try to be as aggressive as I could because of this double damage with the axe and the shotgun. And meanwhile, Garpy was helping me from above, so I think it's probably one of the best combos you can get as demons. And I really like the fact that Marauder can be really aggressive. That fits my playstyle really so much. So it has been a lot of fun.
Nice. All right, boyos. Well, we're going to disappear you from the internet for just a second, only because we've got more games to play.
Yes, indeed. So for those that have just joined, I can see a couple of people in chat saying, the game's over. Far from it. We have another map to get through, and we have 2 more maps, actually. As funny you should mention it. I believe the next map was Extraction, which is a bit of a different vein. Celestial is often seen to be a map that's pretty advantageous for the Slayer, and Extraction can often be seen as kind of like the reverse effect. The demons have a lot of cover, which is really important. It's hard to catch them out in the open. It forces the Slayer to be aggressive. You can use the teleporters to kind of aid that aggression. We did see Raisy using teleporters on Celestial, kind of Quake style, to kind of cover his back and not be punished for ballista shots. But I think it's about to jump down.
All right, let's pop right over into Extraction chat. Here we go. All right, I love how he's also rocking the classic Slayer skin. You love to just see, there's just like everybody's on default skins because they're just doing damage. That's what it's about, even though he's got a pretty sweet podium there. All right, coming out in Extraction, right off the bat, you see the Destroyer Blade coming out. I feel like the charge is about to go. Wow, nope, base shots are in. Again, this is 600 damage right before they had recorded these previous to this Thursday's patch, which actually gave a little bit of a nerf, 50 damage less on the ballista base shot. But,
wow,
deleted. Vengeurr deleted off the internet. He's literally lost his connection. He's gone. He's forever gone.
It's funny we should mention the strength of the ballista. There is that's why, just to really remind everyone the pre-patch nature, the 600 damage of the ballista is extremely powerful, kind of deleting those lower HP count demons. As we can see now, checking out some Garpy, who right now is trying to just provide a little bit of that support and cover. There's some immediate damage being peppered out. Raisy, of course, doesn't want to get pinned down for too long. Changing out now for Vengeurr, who's trying to be aggressive. Critical health, meaning half of it's gone, but Raisy taking tons of damage. And hitting these shotguns.
Hitting everything.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
He hit every shot, Tokyo, but the one he missed got him killed.
He really did. Oh, what a shame. Such a good push, honestly. And that is that sweatiness that goes down to that 50-50 every now and then, where you just look at your HP and you look at who you're up against and you go, let's see what happens. Okay. So, end of round upgrades. Walk us through it,
The Fit Beat Ball and the Bigger Bar, it's very common that we start to see demons rock pretty much the same thing every map, bar a couple of examples. The Resource Drain, though, all enemies you kill drop more health. That is immediately just a Raisy wanting to be able to disengage, and if you are trying to play that runaway game, just get more of that stack back. Because so often we talk about and see the damage output from the Slayer. One of the strong tools, that was a nice little teleport, by the way. I don't think Garpy heard that one.
That was cheeky.
Is the strength to disengage and get stack up really quickly at a faster rate. And where is this damage coming from?
Where is the HP is what Garpy is thinking to himself. He's looking at his watch and going, what year is it? Oh my God, there it is. All right, so Garpy's already out of the game. The question now is, you see, he's already. Oh God, Vengeurr is just going straight in. He's playing a little rope-a-dope, but there's not a lot of rope at the end of that. Oh no, that's another delete. But honestly, it's still, as you see at the very end of that came down to a very low HP situation, but he went for it.
Okay, so end of round upgrades. Once again, it's the same thing that we've seen from the demons before, Bigger Bar and the Tactician. But we can see the Master Carve coming out for Raisy. And that is ultimately, okay, so we get the stack and the running back factor of, okay, we can disengage and all that stuff. But now when we want ammo, we can get that too. So many players, when they use their loot blocks, they deny the ammo, and that's basically it. So if you're going to try and get more of your ammo back than you normally would anyway, thanks to Master Carve, if you are going to get the small demons here and there that no one's going to block, it's so much uncontested stack that you can get back. But there's a lot of momentum coming out from Raisy. Thing is, in this 2-0 situation, demons do get significantly powerful.
100%. And right now you've got, there's so much Noxus Hazard out, and the really smart thing about that was they not only did that, but they stacked it with Best Friend is coming out for Vengeurr and the Marauder, and they also have got the Arachnotron. They're basically just trying to make a Hurt Locker out of that. As soon as the shield comes down, it's going to be, it's going to be GG's for that round. That was a complete reversal, and like they were talking about before, suddenly with these upgrades, these demons are able to put up with a lot more damage and output a lot more at the same time. Again, that team heal, you know it's coming out. You know they're going double team heal on that for the power upgrade. And Sentinel Infused, again, just basically doing his bigger bar, his version of that. So you start with more armor and more ammo as the Slayer. So let's see now. Now everyone's got their power upgrades, out. This is basically the fully charged version of both Demons and Slayer. Let's see how the strategy changes for this round. You got Raisy up 2-1 right now, so this could be a turning point. This could be the end of the match if Raisy pulls one more win out here.
I mean, it very much is a turning point the moment the demons get access to the team heal, if that's the meta they try and adapt. Here we go. The fight's going to immediately break out. I mean, you can really withstand the test of time if you're using your team heal properly. The block's going to come forward. Need to actually check if that was a double block. I'm sure I heard it come through twice. But hang on a minute. Raisy is down again. These rounds have just been like not even a minute.
I'm telling you,
that's been ridiculous.
Yeah, that pressure that Vengeurr is putting, just like maining that super shotgun, just every time it's available, hitting it. But all of a sudden, even though he's on the back foot, Raisy is doing, he was doing really, really nice range damage, but it just took one lost soul that wasn't so lost to take his soul away. And here we go. It is 2-2. This is the final round on Extraction. What are we expecting here, Ketchup? Like, I don't even know how to predict right now.
I don't really know what to expect, purely on the basis that, like, it's been an entire, like, round 5 scenario. I kind of feel like this map has only just started. It's just been massive aggression from both sides.
Yeah.
But speaking of aggression, you can see that Vengeurr's looking to lay on some of that pressure immediately. Pepper out some of the damage with the safety net of a team heal if necessary. Not taking a huge amount of damage, so definitely enough to be a little bit aggressive if he sees fit. But we can see now Raisy just looking to try and get in and out. Get some of that ammo back. There's no block there, so that's going to be free ammo 100%. And keeping out the ballista. I know the precision bolt is incredibly strong, but Raisy with this kind of just flick shot ability, kind of like that, the ballista just gives you more bang for your buck.
He's putting out the Noxious Hazard, but again, this is a map that's a little trickier as far as when you're dealing with teleporters, because one of them is actually underneath a lot of protection in basically this little corridor / basement of Extraction that goes completely to the opposite side of the map. But you see Raisy here is very smartly kind of just, baiting them back and forth to try to see if he can one-on-one Vengeurr here, which so far he's doing, but wait a second. Garpy is coming in, and he is throwing Lost Souls like it is literally his last effort. And you know what? I don't think it's going to be, because they still have team heal here. There's a lot of opportunity. He is fully stacked right now, too. Garpy is just working with everything. He's got his entire stack.
This is 1000% just advantage demon situation, but it's completely slipped through their fingers. Kind of looks a little bit to me like Raisy just hit every single possible shot, and the team heal was gone as well. I mean, there is a block, but at this point, who cares? Wait a minute. That was completely advantage demons in that final situation, and somehow Raisy just pulls that one out of his backside, and here we are.
It's an interesting thing where when everyone's aim is 100% all the time, it becomes more about traversal than literally anything else. And I know you could say that for some games in particular, but especially in battle mode with Extraction in particular, like there are specific, there's a lot more cover, there's a lot more corridor play. So with that, especially if you're a pain elemental, escaping is actually pretty rough in the sense that sometimes you have to just basically barely get hidden and just cool it. Because a lot of times you have that, okay, I'm going to use my dash, I'm going to go back out. But there are so many angles, like with the corridors, that like Raisy's just like waiting, and he's going 3, 2, 1, bring the boys back. Raisy, walk us through round 5 real quick. Okay, so you started out really strong. They started putting on crazy pressure, and then you had those 50-50s that you started winning when it was you and Vengeurr. Like, what turned around in round 5 for you that made things go the Slayer's way?
All right, well, because it was round 5, I tried to go and play it as safe as I could. but at the same time, I wanted to make sure that I'm making progress. So I had to go somewhat aggressive, but at the same time, be careful enough not to lose too much stack and not to waste too much ammo either. So I tried to be efficient. And then eventually they started being aggressive more. And that's when there was a situation where they split up. And that's when I started focusing on Vengeurr and tried to kill him as fast as possible before Garpy could help him. Because he was like flanking around me. And meanwhile, I was just chasing down Vengeurr and he was running away. Um, and as soon as I could kill Vengeurr, I could finally stack up again and focus just on finishing off Garpy before Vengeurr can respawn.
I think one thing I'm noticing almost immediately from these games, Raisy, is that it's no mystery for those that know you that you are a really talented just shot in like a competitive setting, that you've got pretty damn good aim. And watching a lot of these maps here, it's kind of insane to me that like there's no mystery that I know the three of you are definitely sort of new to Doom Eternal. But with some of the battle mode stuff, you could have fooled me. There's just a lot of just natural rawness coming out of how the three of you approach it. But run me through just how you picked up the weapon cycling and how you kind of knew what the right weapon for the job was. Because if no one knew that you were new to Doom Eternal, I don't think they'd ever have guessed. How was the kind of learning process for the quick switching and all the weapon combos to use in a small span of time?
Well, I had help. Other people gave me
Yeah.
tips on what's like the meta, how to play the Doomslayer more efficiently on the high level, and so I tried to adapt. We practiced a little bit, and I tried out things, see like how can I implement them into my game. Uh, the biggest issue, as you said, like aiming wise, I felt comfortable, but like my like the thing that I had like trouble with is to getting used to these combos and do them fast and then not miss.
Yeah.
And then just press the right buttons, know what to do, like when to use the flame badge, when to use the grenade launcher, which weapon to switch to, with which map, which mod attached to it, and should I use the alternate fire or not. So it's like it's very complicated, very hectic, chaotic, but I love it because it's so action packed, and that's when like the adrenaline is pumping, and then
Yeah.
so many things happening around you. Like there's like the toxic barrier, and then there's the demon chasing you. Even the floor below you is like catching on fire. It's like, what can you do? You just have to fire back with everything you've got. So I had to learn it, and I feel like I kind of did. I'm still like a little bit slow on some of the weapon combos, and maybe not using the most optimal ones, but it was somewhat efficient.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. It definitely seemed like you knew what you were doing. You know, like the weapons were the right choices, and that's ultimately like even if like the quick switches aren't like the fastest they can be, as long as you're hitting those shots, it doesn't matter as much because the damage is damage, and damage is what you need for like those smaller targets like a Marauder. But yeah, Tokyo, anything else you want to add?
I just Garpy, walk us through that very last round. Like when Vengeurr went down, like is it a situation where you go, oh shit, and there's the panic where you go, okay, I just got to get safe, or were you thinking like I'm actually going to push this and I'm going to try to see if I can go shield v shield and kind of 1v1 him? Like where were you at in that last round?
Panicking. I remember that last situation. I remember Vengeurr going, he's low, and I was like, I'm on my way, I'm coming, and we thought we had him, and it's just funny how the situation can switch so quickly because the damage output of the Slayer is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's like I thought we had him, and then suddenly Vengeurr just goes pop, and I'm like, oh man, I'm so big. I'm in the open. Where can I hide? I'm gonna try and get away. And I think at the point he was quite low, and I thought, can I take him? So I shot him a few times, and then he got some health back, and I was like, nah, this is a bad idea. I need to get out of here. But by that time, it's yeah, I think I'm hiding behind something, and like I'm that big. I'm just getting shot. I don't know. What can I do? I was like, yeah, I think I'm going down here, mate. I'm dead. So yeah, it was. I think it was a bit of yeah. I've got it to suddenly panic. Need to retreat. I need to hide. Yeah.
And Vengeurr was just cool-headed because he was like, you know what? Just stay alive, bro. Get me back. Like, I'm the pressure unit. Like, do your job. Please! Back up. Get some footing. And by footing, I mean protect the meatball. Right, Vengeurr? Is that pretty much where you're at there?
Exactly. I mean, I'm doing all the damage. Please, try to support me at least. I'm joking. Was really fun, and I think it was my mistake to just go one against Doom. So I had to step back a little bit.
That's totally fair.
It happens.
Well, all right, boys. Yeah, go ahead. No, catch up.
It's fair to assume it's the right rounds were so. I don't know if we've crashed.
No, we're back. Yep.
Are we back?
We're back. Yeah.
Okay, go on. Let me just bring it up. Sorry, this online thing happening again. But yeah, I forgot where I was going with that. Oh yeah, the rounds were super quick, and it was fair to assume either kind of player being aggressive would work because hey, it was 2-2 at the end of the day. But I'm pretty sure I knew where you were going with this. We have one more map to get through, and
sure do.
if memory serves, it should be Penance, which is such a I love Penance. I really do. It's really fun on both sides because there's just so much cover. I might be a biased Revenant main with that because there's loads and loads of places to jetpack. But
it's a very good,
fundamentally,
it's a very good Revy map. And with that said, I think we're going to get straight in. Everybody say your prayers because we have got a lot to make up for because we're going straight into Penance. Show us what it looks like. Ketchup, walk us through this map real quick just from an overview.
I mean, at the very beginning, there's tons of open space, but the demons can't really sit around there too long. Talented Slayers will start using a lot more grenades, more importantly, rockets to kind of catch the splash damage on the back of the wall. And you got to watch out for that. So very quickly, you can be forced into a position that you don't want to be in. It's very heavily dependent on what round we're on, though, because if we can start getting the stack together for demons, they can start being a little bit more aggressive. Until that time, Slayer has lots of angles to work with. As you can see, that Ballista and Precision Bolt paying its dues again, and it's no wonder. You know, it is from this range with this much open space. This is what Raisy should be doing.
100%, and you see that it's actually kind of interesting. So that top layer I usually like to call Cathedral, and in the Cathedral, a lot of times you will see the Slayer retreat there. But it's really interesting that Raisy actually started the round missing his Destroyer Blade, and with that, honestly, just from the absolute start, the demons up in the Cathedral had a better start, but all of a sudden, Vengeurr is out, and Garpy is out, and Vengeurr is now trying to 1v1 him. He's hiding in the Cathedral. He's got a little bit of dash. Again, he's got dash and double jump, but will he be able to use this Geo and basically do the peeky peek enough to stay alive here? And honestly, it's not looking too good.
Misses the shot. Oh, the missed shot on the Precision Bolt did not even matter. And I've got to give a special shout to Raisy's use of the aggressive teleport.
100%.
That's a... It's just purely that comes from his experience with Quake, I think.
It really
just
does.
Knowing, because how many times do you see these aggressive teleport pushes? To go towards the upgrades again, Mastercard, Fit, Meatball, and Bigger Bar, pretty much the exact same thing that we saw in, if I believe right, it was the Extraction that we saw previously. Oh, no, it wasn't actually. This might be a little bit...
It was in Celestial, yeah.
It was Celestial, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I got mixed up. It was a 50-50, I guess wrong.
Destroyer Blade's coming out. It's going right through that wall and doing 900 damage to Vengeurr, who's basically at 75% health now. He's already a little bit on the back foot, but as you see, they're playing a little bit more range game than I feel like they played so far in both maps, actually. They're playing a lot rangier. And you know what? Raisy so far is respecting that by trying to disrespect it as much as humanly possible through getting those Destroyer Blades straight through the walls.
I mean, I guarantee that Vengeurr at the start of that round went, hang on a minute, what? Where did my health go?
He's like, I don't understand 900 damage. I can't even see the Slayer.
This is a Marauder saying, you're going to jump down the jump pad. I'm going to chase.
Ooh, that push.
He did.
That push. Vengeurr just made sure that every super shotgun was basically tattooed on the back of the Slayer there. And then because of that, you've got Burning Hate coming straight off of that from Raisy's pick. Again, every single time the Flame Belch comes out, it's coming out faster. The cooldown is quicker, and he's getting more and more armor every single time. Again, Bigger Bar for the Pain Elemental, and again, Tactician for the Marauder because he wants those options on as little cooldown as possible because... You know, I think he's got a plan for... I have a feeling that we're going to see maybe double team heal in round 3, but until we get there, right now it's 1-1 catch-up. This is... they're playing the range, and they're making that Cathedral kind of like the turning point on every single round so far. It seems like there's always a push there, and then it's a matter of if the traps are sprung enough from the demon side.
A little bit of preemptive use of the Noxious Field. That is going to, at the very least, kind of funnel Raisy into the back corner of where the teleporter is, and he wasn't really able to punish it that heavily. There's minimal damage taken from Garpy, so he hasn't really got anything to worry about just yet. But there's plenty of demons near teleporter, laying that pressure on thick, and that's really why Raisy thinks he has to get out of the way. The Arachnotron's going to try and block the path. and that's going to be an immediate use of the chainsaw to just get some of this free stack back. But yeah, kind of going back to the defensive play that we talked about. The Cathedral, the #1 way of shutting this down often is grenade, which, funny enough, Raisy is going to try and go for, but use of the rocket launcher. We're not really seeing Raisy use the rocket launcher to get the splash damage and try and force them away. I do think, though, that just comes down to the inexperience. You know, give him a few more attempts on penance, I'm sure he'd start doing it.
100%. Because again, with the rocket launcher, you've got those two major options, one of which is the lock-on, does a massive amount of damage, but then, again, the remote detonation for the rocket launcher as a mod, especially against, my God, I'm telling you, these demons. All of a sudden, Garpy just took the gloves off. The shield might be up, it might not, but either way, as long as he knows that Vengeurr is the target, you see him pushing really hard with his Lost Souls and hitting every single one of them. Okay, power upgrades are in catch-up. What do we got?
Same thing, Sentinel Infused, double team heal. Every single player in this map prioritizes stack, and it makes sense. If you're going to be the Slayer and you're against people that are rocking the double team heal to kind of stay alive longer in the fights, you kind of need to go pound for pound in that regard. And the use of the Ballista, again, trying to get that long range sort of poke damage. The demons on the map are going to provide a fair amount of harassment, and the immediate spawn of the Carcass. That was actually a really good Carcass spawn.
I was just going to say,
blocked him off.
It not only blocked him off, but if he stayed around for like a half a second more, that Carcass's melee where he spins around and just whips you does a ton of damage. So that was a really, really clutch demon spawn to basically not only block them off, but also cause him to straight up retreat in that case. But okay, the poke damage is coming out now. He's still playing a little conservative, but he's... I love how the demons are so committed to the Cathedral top. They are just in there praying for the penance to go their way. Spawns are coming out again, though. So you got a couple more demons on the board. Okay, Chainsaw comes out. Let's see if we see the loot block, and we do.
I mean, the main demons, the regular demons throughout the map, and shout out to the Carcass shield. Oh, the block! Garpy using the fit meatball to cut off. What is this movement? The aggressive pain elemental, Garpy with no fear.
I'm telling you.
I say no respect.
You know what? Honestly, when you've got the shield out and you've got dash available, you can straight up push him just like a Carcass shield, but actually give him some knockback. Like, it's something you don't see very often with the play, but I love seeing that coming out of Garpy right now.
See the immediate use, dropping down the aura just in case he doesn't manage to dash, but understandably, dashing is a pretty common tactic. The fit meatball, speaking of dashing, using the shield to absorb shield versus shield with the chain gun.
Okay.
Being very careful. Jump down SSG. That's going to delete Garpy.
I was going to say, right up until then, he had such good zoning, though. The demons were zoning out the Slayers so well, but it just takes one drop down with that super shotgun at close range to just absolutely... Oh. Wait a second. Wait a second.
He's using the machine gun combat shotgun, and I think that is 100% why he hasn't thought to use the sticky or the spam, because he hasn't got access to it.
Okay, going through the teleporter. Noxious Hazard's already out. That won't really do any zoning at all. But, and you know what? They don't have a loot block right now. Well, now they do. They just popped it. Okay, okay, good. So now we're in a situation where it's almost like a restart of the demon health, but all of a sudden you look at Raisy and his armor's gone.
Yeah, TP heals down too. That's something to be a little bit worried about. Raisy dropping down near teleporter, but not without the comfort zone to double back on. Arachnotron's going to try and provide that support. Remember, if you spam the demon spawn a little bit too much, you are actually giving stack to the Slayer.
True.
There's always a chance that maybe there's actually maybe the chance that wasn't known, but sometimes it's worth doing. Even if the Slayer has big stack and you just need to give yourself a backup plan, you kind of understand that you give stack, but who cares? I need help, and I need help right now. That can sometimes work out.
100%. And again, when you respawn a demon, when you've already spawned them on the board, they will drop some health and some armor. But oh my god, the all-out aggression is coming out from Raisy, and the full retreat. Again, he's got the power up. Dude, that Carcass is the MVP right now. I'm not kidding. I've never seen a Carcass play this well.
It's got to be the same Carcass, surely. Oh, it's got the knowledge.
Oh,
game over.
Spicy meatballs in the sky, raining down hell from above. Penance has been served, and we might as well just bring the boys back for the final and definitive conversation about what the hell it is we just saw in an absolute... Like, it was a really interesting difference that we saw there, Ketchup. I feel like we saw such a different, like, pensive demon play, but the coordination was so much higher in this map, I felt like.
100%. And Penance is one of those maps that you can like 1000% adopt different styles on. It's almost like there's two waves to the map. You notice for most of those maps, it was highly defensive at the very beginning, where both demons will kind of sit a little bit pretty up top and kind of use that range advantage to let the other demons harass a little bit, get some of that free damage. Importantly as well, soaking up the Slayer's ammo and then getting your blocks ready. And then wave 2 is when you're kind of satisfied the Slayer has used up quite a lot of resources. Okay, now we're going to start going down, and now we're going to start being aggressive, which is kind of what we saw in that final round as well. But I have to give shout outs to all three of you guys that you have picked this up incredibly quickly. It's a lot of the stuff you're doing, like it's the right stuff, and they were competitive maps all the way through. Well done.
Yeah, 100%. And just to verify that comment even further, none other than Hugo Martin, the lead game designer on Doom Eternal and Battle Mode, in chat says there's a little quote that goes a little something like, "These demons are good." That's what he said. How do you guys feel about that, Garpy and Vengeurr? How's that validation feel as a demon?
We was worried that we was gonna be quite bad, so that's we're quite happy with that comment.
I got the messages, Garpy. I got the Discord messages, but you're not to worry about it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so walk us through, like, you guys really had a very, it felt like carved out strategy versus some other maps that I've seen where it looked like maybe you'd make some adjustments per round. But I feel like your guys' commitment to holding down that top area, the cathedral area, it felt pretty, like, I feel like no matter what the round was, no matter what the situation was, that was like definitely you guys were like, do not leave, bro. Don't leave yet. Let's set up how we want to set up. Like, how did you guys come to this strategy on this map?
We played from our practice games. We found when we left that area that it, definitely against someone who's a Slayer who's got very good aim would really punish us when we got out of that area. So what we said was, let's stay here. We'll keep spawning demons around the Slayer. Hope to take his damage. Keep chipping at him. Hopefully he'll commit into us, and then we can use the toxic user and just like close in on him and go, we've got you. So that's basically what we did every round.
Yeah, I really like to pressure Raisy into that teleporter area and then just spawn the mobs next to him to just block the teleporter, and then Garpy was just serping me from above. It was quite good. Strategic.
I was gonna say, you guys were like laying some real traps, and that Carcass, like, I've never
There may as
seen.
well have been a third playable demon.
Carcass is playing out of his mind.
Yeah, we don't normally see those kind of blocks. But speaking of Carcass blocks, how it feels to be on the receiving end, Raisy, what was going through your mind in that kind of situation where, because it was blocks for days, right? It wasn't just the Carcass constantly putting the shields up. There was that moment where Garpy used the fit meatball to go zoop right up the ramp and cut you off as well. How do you think when you're thinking that situation? What was kind of running through your mind when you're getting overwhelmed the way you were? How did you try and fight back?
Well, as you said, I felt overwhelmed. Every time I tried something, I felt countered. If I tried to run away, all of a sudden there was the Carcass shield, there was the big arachnopod kind of demon, and then there was that one time when Garpy dashed in front of me to block me. It's like, if I try to run away, they don't let me. If I try to stay around, they're gonna spawn everything around me, and they're gonna aggro on me. So that's not an option either if I want to stay alive. And then if I let them play passive, which they did the whole time on that map, then as they said, they just spawned everything around me. And even if I tried to go through the telly, there was already like 2 to 3 demons waiting for me to go through, and then just completely surprise me, like ambush me. And so I felt a little bit like choked, like I had no really option to do something. If I tried to go for like more ammo, loot block. If I tried to go for armor, by the time I collect it, it's already gone. So I was very overwhelmed. I tried my best to fight back, but it was just so hard. And just as soon as they have like the team heal and they start being tanky, I can't even go aggro on them as comfortably as I would otherwise. So I even have to respect it even more, which makes it way harder because if I can't go in, but I also can't stay away, what can I do?
Yeah, it's very much the nature of battle mode is it's absolutely a mode that evolves. You know, the Slayer kind of has that advantage early on, and then as the rounds progress, especially in the game's current meta, a lot of the demon teams, their kind of like first objective is right. We need at least one round, because if we get at least one round, it activates the kind of team heal potential. Because even if at least one of the demons has access to that kind of instant heal, you go from absolutely like having to show a lot of respect and show a lot of fear to the Slayer, as 100% is by design, right? The Slayer is supposed to be that powerful. Team heal just lets you finally go, wait, I can be more aggressive now. Well, wait a minute. I don't have to worry so much about giving up these precision bolt angles or these ranged angles, and it lets you kind of fight a little bit. And that's sometimes seen as maybe a punishment for the Slayer for not being able to finish it a little bit earlier, because the Slayer can be, we've all seen it, how one-sided the Slayer can be. It's very much an unpredictable nature of how this goes. But yeah, I'm 100% sure I speak for the entire viewer experience in the chat and everyone watching. There's absolutely plenty of Myztro fans watching the stream right now. Thank all three of you for being good sports. This was a really, really fun experience. And like I said, if we didn't know that you guys were new to this, we'd never have guessed. It was nice and competitive, and that's the way we like it.
Yeah, thank you guys all for showing mere mortals what it looks like if you're just like, oh, are we playing this week? Oh, you want me to just download this game and just get good at it? All right. No, I'll just do that. All right. Yeah,
Easy,
seriously.
Mate. Easy money.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys for having us. It was a lot of fun.
Fun experiences ever.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Thank you guys so much. So with the magic of the internet, just like that, love you guys, and we'll see you on Sunday in the Quake Pro League. But until then,
good luck, lads.
Magic of the internet says, it's just me and the astral projection of PND Ketchup. My friend.
I'm still a little bit blurry. I feel a bit sad because I think I got a slightly clean camera feed for all of like 10 minutes, and then I just start to disappear. But yeah, fundamentally, it's always a blast doing these. I really do just love seeing how different players approach battle mode, and I think this was an interesting theme for our Friday night fight. So normally we just bring on prominent community members. Like last week, it was Miss Heartbeat and Nizda Swan Song, real Doom OGs at this point, and that I will always assume will kind of be more of a running theme, always bringing the community together.
For sure.
But this was an interesting experiment, and it definitely resulted in a fun viewer experience. And 100%, we absolutely wish the Myztro team the best of luck throughout the Quake Pro League. If you want to watch it yourself, you can go to twitch.tv/Quake every Sunday for Europe/CIS and the Americas. Stage 3 finals actually is not long away. So 2 worlds collide. If you like them, go watch them and cheer them on for sure.
100%. But again, like you said, it's all about showcasing the best players in the Doom community, which getting back straight into the power ballad that is constantly playing as you're queuing up for battle mode. You might have run into these 3 killers on your way to try to get your weekly challenges, and let's just pull it up. Who do we got? All right, so
next week it's going to be Matrix versus Tenseco and Scrap. This is going to be a rather competitive week, you could certainly say. Matrix or Tomatrix, I'm so sorry if I've mispronounced your name, mate. I actually, as many of your streams as I've watched, people very rarely use your name, and you certainly don't say your own name, do you? A very talented Slayer, one of the best Slayers you can watch on Twitch by far. Fantastic player, and in particular has like some of the crispest meat hook movement you've ever seen, and it gives him one hell of an edge in a lot of these matches. But Tenseco is a 2-time QuakeCon champion for Doom 2016 with the 2v2 with BB Skibbenheims, and they've been constant faces in the world of QuakeCon. And then Scrap, the new guy, the hidden Archvile specialist of the PC online world.
The young blood, the burning blood, straight out of Sweden. This guy is waking up at wild hours to show us what he's got. And I got to say, like, so far what I've seen out of him, like, Sergeant Andrews and this guy, like, I don't even know who to pick. Like, I've seen too many good Archviles, and it's these 2 that I've seen the most out of, that I've been the most impressed with. So, like, again, how do you watch this? You just come straight back to twitch.tv/Bethesda, 7:30, 1 week from now. We do it all over again. And we do it with Matrix as the fully loaded Slayer versus Tenseco and Scrap as the Demon Squad, and boy oh boy,
I'm really excited for this one.
Can I just fall asleep and wake up and it's next week? Because like, let's just do it all over again. I'm so excited.
Yeah. I mean, it's fundamentally Tomatrix, Tenseco, Scrap. They are some of the absolute finest PC players that we have. And just remember, we are doing this on a PC basis, and it's going to be a good demonstration. Like some of the absolute finest talent, and that really is what Friday Night Fights is all about. And if you enjoyed what you see, please by all means let us know. Get involved in the content. There are plenty of content creators out there making content for Battle Mode in Doom Eternal. Actually, you know, Tomatrix is one of them for sure. You can go check him out on YouTube. He has a bunch of guides, assorted gameplay against really good players. It's a good time to watch. And above all else, just an opportunity to bring the Battle Mode community together and provide a show that hopefully you enjoy. Just showcasing some great gameplay. Hopefully it's stuff to watch and learn if you're an aspiring Battle Mode player.
Exactly. The best place to gather. Like, go to discord.gg/doom, go to the Battle Mode channel, team up, find the best slayers, find the best demons, and then when you're ready, hit me up. I'm on there. It's Tokyo Punch Out on the little right side, and be like, yo, I want to get involved in these Friday night fights, and I'll get you in the queue, bros and bras. Is that bros and bras? Is that how you do both male and female? I'm pretty sure you just...
I think so.
It's the O and the A? I think that's how you do grammar, right? Pretty sure that's it.
I mean, we're always looking for new talent. And that's kind of... That leads to where we are these days is we're just trying to grow this community and grow people that want to get more competitive with the game, right? Take the gameplay to the next level. It presents a different style of game when... You know, you're playing and hang on a minute, people are watching now.
Right.
And that can let you bring your A game sometimes. Sometimes not. It depends on the kind of player you are. But all the same, it provides a fantastic experience. But thank you for having me as always. It's always a pleasure to do this with you, Tokyo. And I will let you finish things up, mate.
All right. Again, thank you everybody that's been here and joined us tonight. You can find this VOD, the entire thing, on PND Ketchup. I think it's K&M is the full thing.
Yeah, it's my bro Mustard and I. We share it, right? It's a joint channel.
Exactly. So head over to YouTube, look for your boy PND Ketchup. You can find this whole broadcast. Thank you guys for being here. We love you guys. You are why we come here. Welcome to the club. You are here. You are in it. This is what we do. We will see you a week from now. And until then, have fun. See you in Battle Mode. Later. Shit, I gotta find someone that's streaming.